I just wanted to come on and chat for a few minutes. Um, if you are from anywhere besides haps.tv, you will see that you can leave messages in that respective program that you may see the video in. If you do, just say hi and I will get your message. If you don't see me replying to you or saying hello, it's because I can't see you because you're not using HAPS. So if you want me to say hello to you, please leave me a message saying hello, and I will say hello back to you. And, all you have to do is say hi, and I'll be glad to say hello to you. Um, you may need to let me know who you are because I may not know who you are with the particular apps that you may use. Because I don't know what particular app you may be using or whatnot. Um, so it's up to you guys if you want me to know that you're watching or not. This is just an impromptu video. I know I did a video earlier today, but I just wanted to come on and see how you guys were doing, just to touch base with you all, just to say hi. I will let you know that if you join HAPS by using by going to my link at haps.tv / Queen Tina. You can get 100 free coins by joining via that link. And you don't have to give me any of those, don't have to give me anything from that. You can use those 100 free coins for anybody. Hello, Nancy. You can give those coins to anybody else on HAPS. I don't need them. I don't ask for them. Because I just look at them as, you get them from being members at HAPS. You get 100 free coins, use them for somebody else. I just, if you guys would like to join, that's the best way to stay in touch with me. But I am on YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, a bunch of other places. Hi, John. Um, but I just wanted to touch base with you guys. Not talk about a case this evening. Just wanted to talk about. I will say that we did talk about the young lady that was missing in Australia. They found her alive. Little girl that was missing. They found her alive. Found her parents are not looking for a deceased child. They found her alive. And so her parents have her safe and sound tonight. So I think that's an amazing thing. I'm really pleased to find out that they found a live child. So I think that's an amazing thing. And, I only hope that there can be a better outcome for somebody else, that has lost their child. And, you know, like I said earlier this morning, um, the case of Summer Wells, if we keep Summer's name in the in the paper, we keep Summer's name out in the open, we keep Summer's name, relatively in the media. Um, I don't know, John. I'm happy. I mean, I spent time today with someone I care a lot about, so I think that's probably why I look the way I do. So I guess love makes you look, I don't know, look content, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, um, I also wanted to let you guys know that even if you don't watch my channel on Haps TV, Haps.tv, please, if go over to Haps, and on the channel, I'm going to, after I'm finished here, I will put up a picture. It'll be a picture that looks like this. You guys will be able to see it on the screen. It'll look like this right here. And I will put a little, saying that says, something to the effect of, here is my last, my most recent post. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave me those underneath this post. Um, and I hope you have a blessed day. God bless you, Tina, or whatever. And then you guys can leave comments or suggestions or whatever underneath that post. And when I'm not doing, video posts, you can leave comments or suggestions, or if you have like questions about something, like a case you want me to talk about, or questions about anything, questions about stuff that maybe you have questions about, like if it's about a video that I've done, or it's about a case that you want me to talk about, or anything, just leave comments underneath the picture that I'll be posting later on. um like I said, the one case I'm going to talk about is the because it's coming up, the Petito Landry case. That's the one that I'm going to wrap up, because I'm not going to, because essentially the case is closed. I mean, it's not closed. Technically, the case isn't closed, because even though both parties are dead, right now we don't know if the case is actually closed, because technically we don't know if Brian was the reason that Abby died, or Gabby died. So I said Abby, I meant Gabby died. So we don't know really if that's who murdered Gabby, until we find out any more information. I haven't looked today, so I have to do some digging today. But I've done some research in my notebook here. Get out my little notebook if I can find it now. For the last week, I've been doing research for the Gabby Petito and Brian Landry case. Do with it. No, it's here. Anyway, I've been doing research on the case. Oh, here it is. I knew it was here close. And so I've been doing research on the case, and I've been doing, just a timeline of what happened. And so basically, um, here's what I've gotten so far. I've got all of this. Here's my timeline. This is where my timeline starts. And basically, this is where it keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then it kind of breaks up. I left room for different dates. And then this is the 14th, where some different stuff happened, like each different day. And then the 15th is when they were like, the Landrys were named as a person of interest, Brian was. And then we come down to when they found Brian's body. That was the last day of when they found Brian's body, was the final day. What day was that? That was on, let's see, November the 2nd. I believe that was the date, wasn't it? I'm not sure. I have to go back and look, but I do believe it was around that date. Somewhere around September the 13th. He left to go hiking into the reserve on the 13th, and he took his mom's car. There was some discrepancies with that. There's a lot of things that happened in that entire situation with the car situation. There's a lot of things that went wrong with this case. A lot of people don't understand, though, is that the law's hands are tied when it comes to certain things. The police department's only allowed to do so much when it comes to search and seizure. They're not allowed to just go into somebody's property and take stuff, so they were kind of waiting in the wings, so to speak, for Brian to even, he had to do something, he had to do something before they could arrest him. And so they were basically just scoping him out, just watching him to see what he was going to do, see what he was doing with his time. He really didn't do anything fully to be caught of anything, and they said they've been watching him for a while. Um, did I see him do anything that I thought he was crazy about or crazy enough to be watched for? I hadn't seen him do anything to anybody. I wasn't, I didn't watch over him that much. I didn't watch him with his girlfriends. I didn't watch him in relationships. And, the one thing that really got me about all this is that the woman at the hotel, the woman at the restaurant that sat beside them, the woman that said that she saw them, that she sat right beside them at the hotel. Hey, Carlinda. I went to the hospital for something and I've been super busy playing catch up. Well, I've not been on here much, Carlinda. This is like my second time talking about this. I'm not really talking about this so much as I am trying to get my ducks in a row so that I can talk about it in its entirety. But what I did want to say is that a lot of people are saying that, of course, Gabby was the instigator, that she was the reason that all this happened. Um, I don't think that's true. Gabby, to me, seemed like a battered woman. She exhibited signs of it, and she acted like a woman that had been treated badly at some point in her life. I'm talking about the Gabby Petito and Brian Landry case. After I talked about it the other day, I decided to dig a little bit deeper um, in that case, and I was just discussing that I've got a timeline. I'm working on a timeline that I'm still working on, and that some of the things in the timeline really shocked me to find out that the police were actually looking at the they actually looked at the family when they were going to arrest someone. They, looked back and thought that Gabby was the one that was the aggressor, that Gabby should have been the one that was considered the aggressor in that situation, and said that if anybody should have been arrested, Gabby should have been the one that should have been arrested in that situation. And that when they suggested they separate there from the night of the incident that night, that Gabby should have been the one that should have stayed in the hotel room, and Brian should have been the one that should have been left with the vehicle. And it just really shows I think if the officers had been trained a little bit better in domestic violence, and I'm not saying Gabby didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I've not been trained in domestic violence, but I think there were signs of something not right. I just think that Gabby had been violated emotionally and physically. And then when Brian wanted to say that Gabby overwhelmed, just over, well, Gabby, was the aggressor, I had a hard time with that, considering that Gabby was not as, I don't think as strong as Brian was. But now I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But when it came down to whether they had a kinky relationship and whether there was sexual dominance, like a role of sexual dominance that was played during sex, I don't know. That very well could have been something that was played, downplayed during sex that contributed to a issue during sex, and it got carried over into daily life. That very well could have been what happened. Something like that could happen. There are some dominants out there that can, and I'm not saying it happens to everybody. I'm just saying that sometimes a dom can kind of escalate the. There are some people that take the dominant aspect of their relationship that one notch more, and they take it into an everyday life style, and they just make it gospel. They make it, that's your life day in and day out. We're not to break character. You are to be my submissive all the time. We don't break character. You are who you say you are, and you're to be that way all the time. I just couldn't live that life. I couldn't live that life. And now that's not me. But there'd have to be a lot of trust and a lot of conversation there. A lot. A lot of conversation. And I don't think that was something that was done. I think that, there was a lot of conversation of, she was very immature, according to Brian. She was very immature. She was very, she loved him too much. He wasn't as in love with her as he said he was. He said she was immature. On more than one occasion, he said that she was immature. So he didn't think that in the beginning. Now, he really loved her in the beginning, because he wouldn't have asked her to marry him if he didn't think that she was that immature, because he didn't think she was in the beginning. And his mother asked, if he was sure, and he said yes. He was very sure if she was the one. And he said, yes, she's the one. So there were a lot of changes going on in the relationship. So anything could have happened. Any number of things could have happened. Not yet, Barbara. It'll take a few days to get here, especially with the mailing the way it is right now. But I will let you know as soon as I can. Hey, Alexis. But as I said, the dynamic of not having the relationship, him saying he loved her was not the same as it was, when they first fell in love with each other. So, but when I said he said he loved me, when you get that relationship, that kind of principled kind of sort of relationship when you first start, it started falling away. The whole relationship starts to fall away. So that's where the problem started. Like when you get that, he's in love with me, but he's not really in love with me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Tommy. Oh, Tommy. I am so sorry. Is there anything I can do, Tommy? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Oh, honey. I'm really sorry, Tommy. I will, don't you worry. And you know I'll share my mama with you. Was she in the hospital again, Tommy, or was it just at home or what? No, no, you're fine. You're fine, Tommy. I was just talking about the situation with the Petito and Petito case. I'm sorry, Tommy. I had no idea. But that's basically all it is. Um, I just wanted to explain to people that that's why that they didn't really why they didn't make a big to do out of everything that happened was because his mother, well, not his mother, but they um how's it been doing, Alexis? Oh, I know. I know it's crazy here. We sat for an hour and waited on food for Dad. Dad doesn't eat. His appetite's really bad right now, so we waited for dinner for him on Friday night. And unless things change, I think a lot of restaurants are going to close down here. I don't know how some of the restaurants are staying open. I don't I don't see how Walmart stays open. I mean, it's packed. It really shocks me that they can stay open. I mean, it's just incredible how busy they stay. Yeah, you told me about that, Alexis. I just wondered how you were doing as far as, working and having a job, having to do that as well. How's the little side job? Now, see, that doesn't matter, Matthew, because they still have to make the food and make everybody else's that they're making in line, and they still have to wait to serve everybody else, plus serve your food, plus get to yours in line. It's a nightmare. I had somebody cut line last night. I backed up because I thought the car was going to cut through, because it was the way the parking lot's made, we'd have to cut through line to get around the parking lot to get out. Well, me being the good Samaritan that I am, and I just drove from across town because the across town place was closed. Drove across town to go get the food, backed up because I thought there's this big, huge parking lot, but nobody can get through it because they've got the line blocked. So I thought, well, he can't get through. So I backed up and they cut line. They cut line. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? I was like, I can't believe they just cut line in front of me. They did. They sure did. Cut line right in front of me. And I mean, I can sort of see it, but if they just said, no, we're okay, we're just, we're waiting to get in line, that'd been different. But they didn't say nothing about getting in line. They just said, no, we're waiting in line. They didn't say that. I don't trust traffic in town anymore. I don't trust anybody in town anymore. I almost got hit twice last night in traffic. But the good news is I did not lose my temper. I did not lose my temper. I did not curse anybody. I did not cuss anybody. I did not yell at anybody. I did not lose my temper. And I thank the good Lord for that. So, those of you that are praying for me, I really, really appreciate it and hope you continue to pray for me. Matthew, the town was named for the founder during the Civil War. He was named for one of the founding generals. So, but anyway, I hate to go, but I'm not going to stay on. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a few minutes and touch base with you guys and, say hello and, let you guys know that I'm still here. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Alexis. I haven't been on here because of the horrible things that have gotten said and done here on Hats. And you know this how, Matthew? Do you live in Tennessee? And when you say a lot of people, do you mean one or two people? Do you mean 5 or 10 people? Do you mean 20 or 25 people? Because I barely see a few. I'm not in Knoxville. I'm in Putnam County, which is 2 hours away from Knoxville. And you'll see quite a few people driving with one headlight. But it's rarer now than it used to be because it's against the law to have one headlight. Not here. They'll get ticketed if they only have one headlight. You have to have 4 headlights. I mean, like 4 lights. You have to have you have to have your high beams and your low lights, and you have to have your turn signals. So if you have 2 turn signals and you've got your 2 low lights, then you're good. If you don't have but one high, one turn signal or 2 turn signals, and you've got 2 low lights and only one high beam, that still covers you. Don't ask me. I know that after midnight, they expect you to have all 4 lights, all 4. They expect you to have all your headlights working. They expect all your lights to be working after midnight. You best have every single one of them turned on and working. I just run with my I run with all my lights on after midnight. I flip them puppies on and I leave them on. I don't turn them off. So if somebody's coming at me and they've got their headlights on and all I've got is my bright lights, I don't turn them down. I just leave them on bright. If it's going to give me, like, if I'm going to have low lights and I don't have but, say, one headlight on low beam, I've got 2 high beams, but I've only got one low beam. I'm going to leave my high beams on and, leave my high beams like they are. And if I turn my high beams down and I don't have any high beams, like if I'm just driving and I see a police officer, I'm not going to turn my high beams on right then and blow his eyes out. But if I'm driving and I see a car down a dark road and I hit my Knoxville, like if I'm in Knoxville, down the dark roads, I'll hit my high beams and leave them on. It's easier to see at night, and then I'll just leave my lights on like that and keep them on until I get back to where I need to be in town to where I can see normal lights, and then I'll turn the high beams off and my low lights, which then would be, my regular beams, basically. I would have regular headlights then, what I would normally have. So, well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, the police officer, I did a ride along not too long ago, and he's like, the thing is, you want to make sure you're using what you normally would use until, midnight. And at midnight, you don't want to not be using what you would normally be using. So say midnight rolls around and you're supposed to be driving, we're supposed to have 4 lights. You're supposed to have your high beams on high, the highest high beam you can have. Plus, you gotta have your turn signals working. Plus, your side signals. Plus, your all your driving lights. So your all your high beams, your turn signals, the highest lights they can go, and your highest high beams. So your turn signals have to be at the highest maximum they can go, and the turn signal has to be at the highest maximum they can go. And then your your light capabilities on those lights need to be as high as they'll go without blowing the bulbs. So you have to be careful without blowing out the wattage on your bulbs. You have to be careful with that because you don't know what will blow the bulbs. That's the issue. See, I've never had to deal with they give me 20 watt bulb, 20 watt milligram bulb on each side. 20 watt bulb for each compartment. So in one compartment, it's got 20 watts. In the same compartment, it's got 20 watts. So each compartment, each bulb itself has 20 watts. So 20 watts in the right, 20 watts in the left. So the left has 20, the right has 20. So together there's 40 watts. So that's all I've got. Um, the law isn't midnight. It's not the law. I don't know what the law is. Oh, I am Bobby and Barbara. My meds are hitting really hard tonight because I woke up at 3:30 this morning. So if I look sleepy, guys, that's why. You can tell right here. It hit me right here real bad tonight. The law is not midnight. When I did my ride along, the guys said, look, normally if we see them 7, 8 o'clock, we're not going to do anything to anybody until after dark, till after 10 o'clock, when everybody else should be in bed, should be home in bed, should be asleep, should be done in bed asleep. So we should be after the ones that are out doing stupid stuff. Those are the people that should be home in bed. These are the people that we're after, the ones that are taking the cars and going out after that. And then they're getting out, then instead of staying in bed, these people are getting up and going back out instead of staying at home. So, and basically what they're doing is they're getting out with their friends and stuff at the department, going to the bars instead of staying at home and, knocking one back or two back instead of staying, and I'm not saying these are officers going out and getting drunk and then going to work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying these are people that will go and get off work and go have a couple and then go home and have to go to work the next day. You see what I'm saying? That I heard. Hold on a minute, guys. Well, I was married to a police officer for 8 years. I should have knowledge. If I don't, I'm in trouble. Um, you know, if I don't have any knowledge of it by now, I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm just plain and simple. I mean, that's just plain and simple in the beginning and end of it. I mean, I'm sure they've taken a lot of things and changed it, but pretty much the beginning and end of it, no. No, I mean, they've changed a lot of stuff. So some of the laws have been changed and they're still fighting the laws right now. So, but anyway, and I just got out of the Citizens Academy, so that's why I know some of it better than before, you know. I wasn't saying that to be mean, Matthew. I was just saying that I know some of it better than I do others because they gave it to us, they taught it to us repetitiously because it was something that we needed to know and to remember. They taught us certain things, like you need to know this and this and this, you need to know this part of the book, you need to know this part of the schooling, this is what they taught us during this class. And here, I'll show you. Just to give you an idea, this was my notebook. They didn't give us these. I made my own notebook because I'm just that kind of person. But this was our itinerary for the 10-week course. And then here is our first night. My first night's notes. It's just the first night. Then here's the second night's notes. And see, some of it we couldn't even get. We weren't allowed to get photocopies of. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me because I'm like, I was real slow about some note taking because my hand, I had problems with my hand. Um, my hand cramped so bad when I first started writing again. But after class, my handwriting started getting a little bit better. So this is my handwriting later on. Trust me, it got a lot better. My handwriting got a lot better. They had this was corrections. So they spend $20 a day per inmate because the sheriff's department handles the jail. They handle everything that deals with the jail. In 1994, they had 172 beds and they increased it to 252. They had one female in 1994 and now they have 32 female beds. Had 252 bed capacity with 220 males and one 32-year-old female. They had a commercial kitchen and a laundry. I mean, just it's crazy. Like we, took notes about what all was inside the building. Yeah, and then I took a bunch of other notes. And then let's see here. I didn't do any notes on patrol. I didn't have class on patrol night, did I? 16th. Okay, that's when my ride along was. And then the 9th was training. We got firearms, evasion, no division with Post Service Commission. Mandated code and certification department administration. With other essential agencies, instruction academy, managing FTO, management of Department of Accreditation, managing citizens facility, police academy, anything else the sheriff wants, training, deputy needs 40 hours a year. Yeah, 865 screenings. Okay. And then, let's see. There's the K9 SRO unit. I think I missed that. No, I didn't miss that class. I don't think I was in it because I had to be somewhere else. We had to do certain things at certain times of the day. Like I had to be in doing the training with the not the sheriff's office, but the trying to remember what it was. Meet up with, I think I had to meet up with the sheriff's department. I had to meet up with them for something. They worked me up till I was with the local department, but it was for the crimes division. I was doing something with the sheriff's department. I had to do they would neither confirm nor deny that I was doing it. No, it's not one of those things, but I was doing class work and it was part of my training. So, criminal investigation division is just crime scene evidence. Okay, why have I got this in here? It's like, why did they tell me this? Why did I have to do this? Why did I have to do it? Why did I keep looking at this stuff going like, why did I have to do this? Like why did I have to do this, Like why did I have to do it? Um I don't know. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff in here that I had to do where other people didn't have to. But I was the troublemaker of class. Who, me? I wasn't the troublemaker. They teased me about being the troublemaker. We had gangs. We actually had gangs in our town, and we talked about it. I knew we had gangs in the town. Everybody else was like, we don't have gangs in our town. Seriously? You think we don't have gangs in our town? How stupid are you really? I mean, seriously. How stupid are you to feel like we don't have gangs in our town? Nice way to believe. You put your head in the sand, you little ostrich. You go right ahead. Um, yeah. Let's see. Mm. I guess that's all the rambling I need to do tonight. I've rambled on enough, I guess. Um, oh, the gang, the Crazy White Boys, came from Sparta. If y'all have ever heard of the gang Crazy White Boys, they came from a small town called Sparta. Extremely thirsty this evening. Excuse me. Um, I think that's all I have to talk about because everything else is basically just like it's not hearsay because they have actual, documentation on a lot of it. We did SWAT and firearms last night. I can't give you information on SWAT and firearms because a lot of that stuff was like, guess that gang is racist to black and Mexicans. Um, Crazy White Boys. We didn't talk about. Um, we didn't talk about what their racial bias were. I would, I would hazard to guess that they probably were. We talked about um, the Mexican, the MS-13 gang. Um, we talked about a couple of other gangs that, were known to be spread around all over. There was actually an MS-13 gang member who had a son who moved out of the town that they were living in, came down here, and the first thing that he got welcomed to was a nice little message scrawled all over the steps to the new school. I mean, the school down here, to his son, basically saying, "Go back home." MS-13. Basically this big, huge, horrible sign scrawled down on the sidewalk. Death to the MS-13. Yeah, it was death to MS-13. Um, Basically calling him out, saying, you're gonna die if you don't join our join our team, join our gang. And he said, "Look, I'm not here to join your gang. I'm not joining any gang. I came down here to be with my dad, and your team doesn't mean anything. You don't mean anything to me. I didn't come here to join a gang. I come here to be with my dad." And so they had to take the police department had to take it upon themselves to do something about it. Um, so I mean, it's just pretty sad. That's what's sad. It's just really sad. Um, we did. We went to the range. We shot firearms. We worked with the SWAT team. The SWAT commander was my did the game. Um, the gang unit. um, the crappy thing was the gang didn't have nothing to do with him. He didn't want to be part of any gang. That's the thing. He didn't want to be part of any gang at all. He just wanted to be left alone. Like he came down here to grow up to be with his dad. And his dad was like, "I don't want you to be in a gang, period." His dad was like, "Look, I want you to grow up. I want you to have a life." He basically wanted his kids out of the gang. You know, he wanted him to be, gang free. He was trying to give his kids a good life, or so the story went. And so, he's like, "Look, I want you to be unganged. I want you to be non ganged up. I want you to be out. I want you to grow up gang free. I want you to be clean. I want you to live a life better than what I had to live." And so it's just sad. Instead of that kid coming home to an MS-13, this big fight over the MS-13 and this gang fight. And it happens all the time. They shot this guy's car up. I mean, took it and shot up the entire side of the car because because this kid wouldn't on join their gang. I'm like, man, I can only imagine the retribution for that. $5,000. Mm, 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 mm. That would have really hurt my liver. That would have really hurt me. Well, I'm pretty sure he had help. No, see, he did. He moved away. That was the whole point of moving to Tennessee. But he wanted away from the influence. He thought he was getting away from the influence, but what he didn't realize was he was moving to the worst place. Who would have thought, though? Who would have thought that moving to our town would have put him right in the middle of this big mess? I think a lot of times you think, "Oh no, move to this area. No, it's no big deal. This is a really good place. It's a cool." No, it's worse than anything anybody ever think of. It's not necessarily in Tennessee. It's in Knoxville, Nashville, Chattanooga. It's in the outlying states, and I mean outlying, metropolitan areas. It's not really in, Cookville or, places like that. I mean, it's in Baxter and, it's just in places you wouldn't think that, oh yeah, there's this big bad gang unit that you wouldn't quite expect there to be these big bad gangs, So that's what scares me is that what the weather's doing. Mm-mm-mm. I think what surprised me is that, excuse me, is that it's not the big talk. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I'm not moving anywhere. I don't think I should have to move from where I live. You see what I'm saying? I live here. This is my life. This is where I grew up. I don't think I should have to move. That's what I'm trying to say. This is where I was raised. This is where I was born. So it's kind of hard when this is where you grew up and you're using, the resources that you've been given your whole life. And when that doesn't help, you know what I'm saying? When that doesn't help, and then the city's saying, oh no, you can do this, and maybe you'll get help with this. You know what I mean? So I just hope maybe things will get straightened out. We won't have as big a gang problem, you know. But anyway, I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's all I've got notes wise. Yeah, I think that's it. Because we did our Citizens Academy, we graduated on the 28th, I believe. No, the 21st. Yep, and I graduated the 21st, so that was it. That was it. Yeah, I did. Graduated on the 21st. That was it. That's when I graduated. Yep, yep. So yeah, that's about it. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I was looking to see if I had anything else I wanted to talk about, but I didn't see anything else, guys. So I guess that's going to be it. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in and was listening to me yak about what all I was yakking about. I appreciate y'all coming in and listening to what I had to talk about today. I appreciate y'all for being here. I know I've been kind of a scatterbrained. It's because I am really scatterbrained. I don't mean to be, but I didn't have a lot of sleep last night and I'm officially old. I'm old. Let's just put it out there, people. I'm old. Okay. I'm really old. And so it's kind of hard when you're old to try to focus on days when you've not really had good rest and you're kind of in the woo woo world. You're just kind of out here trying to do it. You're trying to do it. But I love you guys. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around, taking a chance, listening to what I have to say today. And I appreciate you all so very much. I thank you for listening, for what time that you gave me to listen. All 87 of you guys that stopped in and said hi. Old starts at 50 when you're shot like I am. I mean, seriously, when your body's shot like mine is, old starts at 50. Well, old starts at 38, actually, when you get a body like mine. So when your body hurts like mine does, old starts at 30. So, but I really do miss you guys. I hope that you guys have had a great rest of your day. I hope that tomorrow starts off wonderfully for you guys, and that I hope that tonight is a wonderful evening for you. If you have not gone to sleep yet and you need some thoughts for wisdom, just take around, look at your family, and be thankful for what you have. Just like um, just like we say about one another, just be grateful for who you have in your life today because we don't know if they'll be in there tomorrow. So be sure to thank everybody in your family and in your life today. Thank God for them and thank them for what's in your life. And I appreciate everybody that's in my life today. I thank you, Matthew, for being here, and I thank everyone that's participated in this chat tonight. I love you guys so very much. I appreciate everything from you guys. From Barbara, thank you for what you've done for my mom. From Matthew, don't really know you, Matthew, but thank you for being part of our chat. I'm a little bit shy because of things that have happened in my past. Chat has not been that great here lately, so thank you for participating and being an all around nice guy. Alexis, thank you for being here. And Matthew. Let's see who else was chatting. We got Tommy. Tommy, well, I hope you're doing okay. I love you, and I'm really sorry about your mama. Know that we love you, and we're praying for you as well, honey. You keep us posted, and if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know. We will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. So terribly sorry for the loss that you're feeling right now. Um, Alexis, see, we love and care about you. We'll be keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. Carlinda will keep you in our thoughts and prayers as well. Um, let's see. Um, um, let's see. There's something else. Oh, John, I love you. I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Queen's Revenge Play still over on Twitch. I have not been on Twitch to play games in a while, but when I do play, that's what I play under, Queen's Revenge Play. So that's what I play when I play over there. And please know that I don't play all the games that I play over there when I play Switch games. So please let me know if you're playing under that. Trying to make sure I got everybody covered on Alexis. Um, I should teach traffic school. No, I don't want to teach traffic school. That would be so boring for me. Yeah, I could teach them how to go into each other maybe, but I wouldn't know the first thing about traffic school. Um, did the gang unit help? The gang unit helped him, yes, but he didn't get anything out of it. Like gang helped, but it just helped him to stay away from that particular gang, and that's it. Um, that's about all. Hey, Carl, Car Hunger. It's going well. I'm sleepy because let me just explain. I don't want anybody thinking I'm, like hungover or strung out on pills or anything. I went to bed at 10:30 last night and I woke up at 3:30 this morning and I'm extremely sleepy. And so I'm not really sure why I'm so tired. This happens every so often. I don't get enough sleep. And so I'm trying to shake it, but I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing? How are you and your husband doing, girl? Good, good. I was wondering who that was, and I'm like, wait a minute, I recognize that username. I did not forget who you were. I did not, I did not. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'm gonna go before I start to pass out on camera because it's gonna happen because I'm already getting sleepy. So as much as I would love to sit and talk to y'all on camera, I'm gonna get sleepy and I'm gonna end up passing out. Oh, sure you can. Absolutely. I will let you on camera. Absolutely. Hold on just a second. I will invite you. Absolutely, positively. You are invited. Let me put my headphones in here. You absolutely can say hi. And everybody remember, tomorrow night is Caleb's birthday. Okay, let's see here. There she is.
Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, up and down, but alive. Nothing's taken me yet. I'm still breathing and all those other great things.
There you go. There you go.
Hmm.
You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got like next to no makeup on and she compliments me. Oh,
Look at
oh,
me. I don't have a stitch of it on, so
I can't go through a day without slapping something on, at least foundation. Just,
not
yeah, that,
me
that,
anymore. I just
that
don't bother
menopausal,
replacing it.
that menopausal skin.
Oh, girl, listen. I went through that when I was 38, and I've never been so happy.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was forced though.
Mm. Well, that's
I
what they had to
almost
do with me
died.
eventually.
No, I
So,
almost died. So I
yeah, you were
hemorrhaged
saying.
out in a hospital. Yeah. So they had to go in and take everything. Um, they found a mass on the inside of my body next to my uterus, right around where my fallopian tubes were. So the egg was going out to the fallopian tube, but it wasn't traveling down where it was supposed to. It would just stop and it would land on the inside of my body. On the, you know how your body's like got a big cavity where your uterus is? Well, it
Yeah.
would land on the inside of my body, not on the fallopian tube, but land on my body. And it just made a mass. And I had about a golf ball, or I think it was about half a softball size
Woo.
mass. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I apparently had fake babies inside me. I had egg growth.
Oh,
My body thought that I had eggs, but I didn't have eggs anymore, and it was attempting to create a baby and failing.
yeah.
So
That's what
yeah, that
happened to
was
me.
a
Well, I had a
disaster.
miscarriage. Did have one baby that I gotten pregnant at some point, and because I didn't have regular periods, I don't
Right.
know when I got pregnant. don't know when. I know when I miscarried because I know exactly when it happened. It happened at work, and
Whoa.
so yeah, I miscarried at work, and I went through
Now
it by
that
myself.
takes an unusual talent.
It wasn't. I wasn't so far along that I was hurting so bad that I couldn't deal with it on my own. I'd been through worse pain.
We're
You
women,
know,
of course we have, right? Every time a man goes, "Oh my God, that hurts," I look at him and go, "Really,
does
really,
it
be
really?
one of us. Be one of
Yeah,
us. Come on. You want to know
yeah.
hurt? Let me fix it for you. Come here."
You go get the menopause pad that they put on these guys now that simulate period cramps. Have you seen
Really?
that? Yes, they've
No,
got the
I haven't.
labor. They've got this vest that simulates labor cramps, labor pain, and then they've got one that simulates period cramps. It does the same thing for men that it does for women. It's just a TENS unit basically that simulates cramping and period cramps. Men cannot handle it. They can't even go to a level 10. They can't even. Girl, I hit 11, 12, and 13. That's how bad my period cramps were. And
Mm-mm-mm.
I had to work. We had to go to work. I didn't get days off of work because I had period cramps. I have never
Exactly.
been so happy to wear a weight belt in my life. I would tighten that thing up. I would tighten that thing up and wear it to work.
I
Like,
can watch it on YouTube.
yeah, you can watch it on YouTube.
There's video on YouTube of
There's
this.
video on YouTube. Look it up. Men going through labor pain, simulated labor pain. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Martin right now is going through all this mental health stuff. Maybe I should send
Oh,
him a copy of
bless
the
him.
video,
You should. You
and
should.
say, listen, have a good laugh. You're still better off than any of these guys.
It
Yeah,
might
he's
actually
back.
make him feel better.
Well, he's
It.
back in the hospital. So
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't even know he'd been in the hospital.
yeah, this is time number 4 that he's had a total breakdown.
No,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
So I'm trying to keep the
Send him
company
those
alive, and
videos.
yeah, I got to give him something to laugh at.
Send him those videos. Cause, oh, have you seen the videos of? Wait a minute. Go to go to um what is it, TikTok, and look up the cat videos, the ones about something like, I know you had something to do today, and but I had other plans or something. It's hilarious. They're the
okay.
talking cats. My sister had me crying one night over the talking cat videos.
Oh my god.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I really
See, I've
do
been
think it would. I
the
really do
last
think it would cheer him up.
the last time he wound up isolated while they tried to figure some things out. I sent him, you know, videos of these guys. What is something to
Oh,
figure out? This is Baxter. Baxter is
oh,
very much Daddy's cat, and he always gets sucky with me whenever Daddy's not around. So when Martin goes in, and
oh.
when something happens and Martin's gone for a while, this one just
He
suddenly
freaks
gets
out,
really
don't he?
sucky. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll sit around in the middle of the night and he'll walk around meowing.
he'll
Um,
sulk looking for daddy.
hmm I mean, I don't know where
Oh,
number 2 is. My little familiar is, well, he's huge, but he's around here somewhere. But
I
yeah,
like the way you're
Baxter
calling your
was,
familiar.
yeah. Well,
I
it's
mean, that's what they are. I
yeah.
mean, Tiger's mine. I mean, he's about, I'd say he's about as big as that cat is, or bigger. And he's what, 10 years old. And for the longest, I couldn't go anywhere without that cat following me, going meow, 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 meow. I mean, just constantly. And I'm like, son, I am right here, right here.
Dude, dude.
Stop it. Like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but whatever it is, it cannot be that
No,
bad.
I talk to them like, like I do know what they're saying. And it's great because, they'll go for a while and then they'll stop and look at me like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Let me try again. And then they'll start again. It's like,
I've got a
it's
friend that's got
crazy.
one that he rescued, and oh, Matthew, you didn't need to do that. I appreciate it, but you didn't need to do that.
Apparently he wanted
Um,
to.
well, I appreciate it.
I tell you, it's your accent.
No, it's not
I'm
that. It's you. It's got to be you because it wasn't me. But a friend of mine adopted this cat, and he said we're gonna call him Orpheus. And I said because I didn't know my Greek mythology well enough,
oh,
and literally the cat sings for everything.
but
Until you feed him, and then once he's fed, he shuts up.
I'm envisioning that call out the door. Hey, Orpheus! The
Oh yeah, I
neighbor's
thought it was
going, excuse
hilarious.
me?
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was pretty funny until I realized what he was saying by that, and then when I saw him, it fit him perfect,
Well,
perfect.
Baxter came named, and usually we'll rename a cat when they come from a shelter, but he seems to suit the name, so we kept it. And somewhere around here is Pippin, and Pippin's part Bengal, so he's huge. And
Oh,
yeah, he's in British Columbia. There are a lot of breeders, like out in down in Richmond, down in Abbotsford, and all these little boroughs, right? And sometimes domestics get or barn animals from the other, from neighboring farms get into the mix. So in British Columbia, you're allowed to drop off no more than two animals at a shelter, and then you get charged. So if you drop off three, you get charged for the one. If you drop off four, you get charged for two. And so what a lot of these breeders will do when accidentally get in the mix is they call up their friends, and one friend takes two of them over here, one friend takes two of them over there. And once there's all these shelters realize that they're all the same litter, um, it's too late, right? So he had four siblings, so there were five of them in the litter, and a neighbor's cat got in the mix, and this beautiful Bengal female gave birth to five half breeds. So he got dropped off alone down in Richmond. His two of his sisters got dropped off in Vancouver itself, and his sister and his brother got dropped off down in Surrey. And it's just like it's insane what these breeders are doing. It's just like they don't want to pay the fees, right? So the one Richmond shelter has got like the most cats out of any shelter in Canada, to a point where they built this whole glassed area with benches and chairs. And so they have people come, like if you want to just spend a day with a whole bunch of cats, right? They have times where they let the cats out of their rooms, their little kennel areas, into this large glassed in area. And you can go down, there's no more than five humans allowed in there at a time. And you can literally go down and sit amongst these cats and just enjoy. And if you fall in love with one and you say to them, I want to adopt that one, or you just want to, maybe you've got an apartment that doesn't allow pets, right? And it's brilliant because they're a no-kill shelter, and there's a
oh,
there's a donation jar at the door when you walk in, so you throw some coinage in, and you sit
and
with the
just go
cats all
down
day.
there and love on cats all day.
Yeah, and it's brilliant, and he's beautiful, and I'm just looking at him going,
I love Bengals.
yeah, he can reach the counter, just so you can't leave anything on the edge of the counter because he'll reach up and pull it down. It's like really, just really, and he'll look at it, and if it's something he has no interest in, he'll just look at it and go and walk off, and you're like, mm,
They had a video of this kitten, and it was so hilarious because kitten's just sitting there on the table, and there's a glass, one of those half tumblers, of water on the table, and it's filled up about that much. It's got a napkin underneath the end of it. Kitten sitting there playing with the napkin, and the person on the other end of the camera saying, "No, no, don't touch." Well, the kitten paws at the napkin one more time, and then the person says, "No, no," and the next thing you see is that kitten grab that napkin and go wham and pulls that napkin. The water goes everywhere. I mean,
oh
just
my god,
and I go, "Tiger, Tiger, is that you, honey?" Because
oh my god.
I can just see Tiger doing that.
Yeah,
I can
Baxter
just
has
see
this
him
thing with
doing it.
lids. With the bottle lids. He likes cupping them, like he likes putting the bottom edge in his mouth and it cups over his nose. And he'll walk around proudly with it over his nose. I don't know why he has a thing for bottle lids, but he does. If it fits over his face, he wants to pick it up. And he's
That is
he's a hoarder.
hilarious.
He is
Oh
seriously
no,
a
listen,
hoarder.
if I let my cats do that, there'd be thousands of them. Thousands. I am satisfied there'd be thousands.
Someone took off with my hands free one day, didn't he? Huh?
Uh
Huh?
oh.
I spent 4 days looking for it. I finally found it
Oh
underneath my
no.
dresser. It's like,
Tiger isn't mean, he's just misunderstood. He's just
other cats are all
misunderstood.
misunderstood.
He's just misunderstood. He's just a baby. He's only 10 years old, but he's just a baby. He's
Yeah,
the baby.
Baxter's pretty young too. We only got him a few years ago. I'll make you a bet.
He hit his sister. Well, Princess isn't his sister. Princess is actually his aunt. But if I had let them bond like they were supposed to, then there wouldn't been that animosity between them.
Ah,
But because I wanted him to imprint on me, I wouldn't let them bond.
oh,
I had to just
really?
I had to be his mommy. I had to. I
Oh,
just had to be his mommy. So Princess didn't get to. I didn't let him imprint on Princess because I wanted him to imprint on me, and it worked. It
he's
worked, but now that she just has an issue with him, and he walks up, he walked up to her, and he went, kapow, just right across. Holy moly! Look at that cat. Now that is a
what?
cat. That's a
He's like,
cat.
what? Yeah, he's pretty big.
Hi. Hi, kitty. Oh, aren't you gorgeous?
You can see how much, Baxter's closer to the camera, but when they're sitting next to each other or standing next to each other, he's like, what? I'm tired.
He's like, Mama,
Why
just
are you
leave me
pooped out? Is it
alone.
because you were overplaying?
Oh, he's like, I'm
But I
I'm
love the
just
fact that
passing.
he's managed to keep all the graduation around the nose from
Oh
the Bengal
yeah.
aspects,
Yep.
like
Watch him. I love it when they do
that
that.
shading. Right?
I love it when they turn upside down. It's like, look, Mom, look and see what I can do.
Yeah,
Pet
right.
his floof.
Hey,
Pet his
twit,
floof under the
twitty,
chin.
twitty.
Pet the floof. Yes. There he is. There he is. You pet that floof and he's going to attack your
Hey,
hands.
bud.
He's
Oh,
like,
this one is a rough houser like you wouldn't
test me
believe.
and see. Test me and see what I can do to you.
Hey,
Oh,
bud.
have you seen the they're caracals. They're like a Pumbaa, but they're thinner.
Oh, okay.
And this cat, they must have declawed it because I don't see him letting a cat do this if it wasn't declawed. But she walks up to him and she does this. I mean, she pounds his hand 3 or 4 times. And I said, there is no way that that cat could have hit his hand that many times and not have ripped his hand into meat. Oh, he's looking. He's like,
Oh.
mm-mm.
Can you hear me okay?
Kitty, kitty. Oh, he says,
Hmm.
pet me more.
I'm like, what? You're claiming the phone, are you? Both of you?
Hi.
Yeah, he's got. See, his markings are fading as he gets older,
Oh, they
but all
will,
the
but he'll
spots
still
are
keep them
underneath.
on his skin.
Mm-hmm.
If he was
Which is
naked, he'd
amazing.
have all those
And
spots.
all the markings. Well, and this is it. Like, I mean, he had when he was younger, he had this distinct. Like, these were all. This was more spots
Yeah.
than stripes, and the very back was striped, right in his legs.
Oh, he's
But
got you now.
as he's got as he's gotten older, it's all blurred into stripes. Yeah, this was all
Yeah.
spotted, and then he had the stripes on top. So yeah, as he gets older, everything's kind of merging and blurring. But we
Mhm.
had like when he came to us, his name was Ashton, which Martin and I, what? No freaking way, like, Ashton. All I could think of was
Ashton for
Ashton
a
Kutcher,
cat.
right? It's like no.
Yeah.
So yeah. So y- you gonna clean your brother? Okay, thank you. Um, so you can see the size difference, like even in their heads, right?
Oh yeah.
But uh, but yeah, so he's prone to tripping people. He loves just walking underneath your feet all the time. He knows he's
Oh
big enough.
yeah.
He knows he's solid. So he'll walk. So he was nameless for the first 2 weeks we had him. He just had no name. And then suddenly Martin from the kitchen, all I heard was "full of a toque," in that whole Gandalf accent, right? And
Yeah.
yep, that's how he got his name. I'm sitting there and I came into the kitchen and I'm like, I think you just named the cat. He is now Pippin, sitting
Pippin
underfoot.
the cat. He reminds me. I had a cat named Smoosh. I called him Smooshy, and he
Oh,
was homeless. He was just a homeless kitty, and I called him a little bit of everything. I called him Smooshy, called him Moogie, I called him Smooshy Kitty. But I just loved that cat. He was old and battered because he fought every other cat in the world, and that cat loved me. He would get right up. I mean, for a wild cat, we're talking a cat that had no intentions of letting anybody around him. He sat down
nice.
in my lap. Like he crawled down off the back of this Adirondack that we had, an Adirondack chair. He crawled down and sat down in my lap. I'm like,
Oh,
I said, did you just make me yours? I said, I love you. You are now my kitty. And so
yeah.
he loved us and we loved him. And I was getting ready to take him in whenever it come a real bad snowstorm about 5 years ago. And I didn't have a way to bring him in the house because I hadn't had him fleed or anything. And my cats had had their shots, but not had their rabies vaccinations yet. And so
Right,
I couldn't bring him in without his rabies vaccine. There's no
right,
way because if he had fought my cats, they'd all had to have been put down because I didn't know if he had rabies or not. And
right.
so I couldn't run that risk. And so I thought, okay, we're going to get through this winter. And then I'll take all of you to the vet. We'll get you all shot at the same time. We'll take care of all of you at the same time. And then when I move, I'll take all of you with me, if I move.
Right.
He ended up running away from home after that.
Mm,
And it broke my heart. It did. It like to kill me because he was my smoosh. He was my outdoor kitty, and I was going to bring him in the house. Like, it was too cold for him to be outside. Me and Mom had already talked about it, and I said, I want to bring him in, Mom. I said, it's too cold.
right.
It's just too cold for him out there.
Wow.
And he ended up staying out, and I kicked myself for the longest over that.
Oh, honey, it's the way of the world,
Yeah.
right? Just
I know.
sometimes things happen.
It just hurt me because the old cat didn't deserve it no more than anything. He was just a
Well,
kitten. I mean,
we had to give up our third kitty not that long ago. Um, it was Pippin and Hathor that came across country with us. We got Baxter here, but a number of things happened during that first move between BC and Ontario, and the friend that we left them in care of because they flew, we drove, and a number of things
excuse me.
happened during that time. You know, she stayed in our new place, which is basically an air mattress on the floor type thing. And yeah, him and his sister wound up behind one of the cupboards and stuck. They somehow got up on top and fell behind the cupboards and got stuck back there. And she thought they were like walking around on the roof or something like that or the ceiling. And I was like, listen, they'll come out if that's where they are, no big deal. Well, no, they were down a shaft at the bottom for 3 days, stuck on top of each other. I had to get a friend to come over and completely take apart the cupboard. And they had scratched, both of them wound up with a scratch on a nail on the way down and everything. And just, and she was never the same after that. She just was never the same. And
No, when you put a
the
cat
boys,
in,
and then we got him, and the boys would really seriously pick on her. She never had a moment's peace. And she's very much a princess. So we got a hold of the Humane
that's my
Society and
little
we said,
girl.
oh,
I got a little girl kitty. Her name's Princess. She is rotten. I mean, rotten to the core. Wait, I can probably show you a picture of her.
Yes, please.
See if I can find her. See if
But
I
yeah,
can
so
find my Kay.
we got a hold of the Humane Society and we said, listen, and she wouldn't eat. She didn't trust anyone from that point on. She just won't eat. So if Martin and I take off for days or something or go to the convention or whatever, we can't have anyone to feed her. We did that once we were in Niagara Falls and for 4 days and she starved herself. She just wouldn't eat from a stranger. She wouldn't even eat if a stranger's in the house. So, I said to the Humane Society, I said, it'll be whoever gets this cat is going to have to be really, really patient. We don't want to give her up. We love her, but we need her to be happy. So they found her a home with a guy who's got a condo because she can easily be an only cat. She's that type. And yeah, he's got a condo. He's an investment banker. He showed me pictures when I dropped her off, for the trade off. He showed me pictures of the huge cat fancy condo he bought her. He bought her this multi-layered water fountain. He bought her.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
she is so spoiled by now. It's disgusting. She gets treated better than I do. So yeah, yeah, she's living a luxury life in a condominium in downtown Toronto now. A single cat. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while. He's gonna have to be patient because he's still technically a stranger to her. But it's only a matter of time when she realizes it's just her and him, and she'll be fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't want to give her up, but she's so much happier now. And
Yeah.
these two, like Pippin, kind of meowed for a little bit, and then after that, he was just like, oh, okay, you know. And these two, Pippin and Baxter just beat up at each other like beautifully. They really
Yeah,
go
and
at each other.
I think sometimes when cats like Tiger, he was a baby when we got him, and Princess was already, I think she was 7 or 8, and so she was much older than Tiger was, and
Right,
so it was like if I had left her to take care of Tiger, she would have. But I wanted Tiger to imprint on me. I wanted him to love me as if I was his mom. So I'm the one that ruined that whole dynamic. I know I
Aw.
did. It was my fault, but I wanted that love between me and Tiger to be strong. I wanted that strong bond, because I missed it. Because me and Princess, when I lived with my parents at the old house, Princess loved my mother. She just loves my mom. I mean, beyond loving me. She's never loved me like a cat would love their parent. She always
Right.
loved my mom. Now, fast forward to now, she loves me. Like
Oh.
now that we've gotten things have changed since we lived here because we moved in here 5 years ago. Mom and dad
Right.
moved in like 6 months or 4 or 5 months before I did, and then I moved in after we found somebody to rent the house. And it's like now she wants my attention, whereas before I craved her attention because I really loved her. And all the time she wouldn't give me the attention. I really wanted her to give me attention, but she wouldn't do it. So now when I don't really, like I don't even ask for her attention, she will crave my attention now. She'll go
Oh.
to the back door and she'll scratch at the back door and she'll want my attention.
Aw.
She'll meow. She'll go, ow, ow, ow. Scratch, scratch, scratch. You can hear her. She'll scratch at the back door, want me to go love at her, and I'll go out there and I'll love on her, and I'll even we'll say night night prayers together. I mean, I know it's crazy. I know it's nuts, but I've even got them trained. Did you know you can train a cat to sit? My cats will sit on
Yep.
command, and
Both
they
of these
wouldn't do
guys
that
have to do
before.
both of these guys have to do tricks to get fed.
I tell them to sit before they get fed, and boy,
Yep.
tonight I said, Princess, sit. Buddy, that butt went right down on the ground, and she sat right down. And I said, "Good girl." I went to pet her, and she went, "Meow." She didn't want
Oh.
me to pet her because she was like, "I want the food. Don't you dare touch me. I want my food."
Not in the mood. Not in the mood.
Not the mood. She wanted the food. She's very black and white when it comes. She's a calico too. When she wants her food, she wants her food. I mean, that's just it. She's something else, I'll tell
Oh,
you.
calicos.
Oh, she's my girl. And then of course Tiger's a tabby. Let's see if I can
Oh,
find her picture
I'm
here.
seeing more and more tabbies around. I don't know why, but I'm
Tabbies
noticing.
are wildly a well known cat.
Yeah, they're more and more common. I'd still
Yeah.
like to see more black cats out there. It always worries me when I don't see enough black cats
Well,
because people
they're
tend not
odd
to
to be
adopt them.
black. They're odd to be black. I've not seen a black tabby in a long time. There are black tabbies.
Yeah, haven't seen one of those. I used to have a Rex, a Cornish Rex,
Oh wow.
and we used to walk him on the leash, and everyone thought he was a Chihuahua, and I'm like, no, it's a cat. It's not a Chihuahua, it's a cat. But he was
My cat.
I was working for a groomer at the time,
Yeah.
and we had a pet supply little store in the front, and one of our one of our customers she had a baby. Oh,
I don't know if you can
oh,
see her at that
beautiful.
angle.
Yeah, I can. Oh, she's lovely.
Thank you. I'm hoping I can show you one of her big eyes.
But yeah, she brought in and she put up this ad to get her Rex a home. Rex, Cornish Rex, free to good home. And no one
Yeah.
was paying attention because Rexes are really expensive cats.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone was like, there's got to be a cat. The cat's probably sick, the owner. And I'm like, no, she had a baby and she had two Rexes and it was Tut and Ramsey. And Ramsey had no problems with the baby, but Tut hated the baby.
Oh
So
no.
he started peeing on everything, like the baby's
Oh
clothes,
no.
the crib, tried to pee on the baby itself, and that's when she said, "You know what? I
That's
love you.
gotta
You're a member
happen.
of the family, but you got to find another family."
Yeah.
So I said, "You know what? No one's going to take him in because everyone's suspicious. No one's going to believe what you're saying. We know
Yeah.
you. You're one of our regular customers. I'll take him." So
Oh
I brought him
wow.
home, and it was really funny because they're hairless technically, and he'd lie right on the radiator, like right on top of the rads, and it's like, I don't know how you do that, cat. That's like her skin right there.
Yeah.
And but he could, and it was okay except for the fact that we had another cat, Kira, and Kira was not declawed, but Tut was. Now, I don't believe in declawing, but when you get a cat secondhand, it's not like you have a choice. The deed's already done.
Here's the
And
Batman building in Nashville.
oh wow,
Yeah. It's looks like the Batman. It's got the two points on the ends of his ears. He's got the ears.
yeah,
I don't know if you could see it. It's kind of right. Hold on a minute, and I'll get it turned
mhm.
right in just a second.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You see it?
yeah.
Yeah, the Batman building. My niece couldn't say the Batman building, so she'd call it the Matman building.
Nice.
Oh, those are the days.
But yeah, so the problem was Kira, when she got upset, would scratch him because she had claws and he didn't. So it got to a point where he was just miserable, and so we did some phone calling and discovered just outside Toronto is a cat sanctuary for old cats,
Oh
and
wow.
it's literally, this woman's got this huge property and four barns, and particular cats, like cats that are much older, are in this barn. The kittens are in that barn. So she had the barns kind of assigned, and she has a whole section for you know cats like Tut, that are hairless and stuff like that with heaters and everything. And so I called her up and she said, no, these things happen. He's an older cat. He's probably only got a couple of years left in him. So yeah, we'll give him somewhere to retire. And then she comes over and she picks him up and she's like, this Rex is overweight. And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, he's skinny. Like he's a Rex. He's this tiny, skinny little thing. And she's like, no, this is an overweight Rex. And I'm like, no, no, that's the skinniest cat I've ever had in my life. She's like, yeah, this is overweight for the breed. And I'm just like, okay. just I'm
Oh my
like,
gosh.
okay. So I just had to take her word for it because she's got more expertise with these cats than I do. So honey, I
Um,
just wanted to come on and say hi.
I'm
I'm
glad you
really,
did. I'm really
yeah.
glad you did. I've missed y'all. had to take a break with my anger issues, and so I hadn't been able to be on much. But
Anger
I've been
issues?
trying to. Oh yeah, yeah. When I fell and hit my head last year, and I flipped a switch in my
Mm,
brain, and I've not been able to handle my anger. And so I was doing like in traffic, I was having, anger control issue problems, and um actually like got into verbal arguments with people in traffic. Just
whoa.
oh yeah, it got bad, girl, let me tell you. And so yesterday, me and mom were driving through town, and this girl, she swerved over into our lane, almost hit us. I honked at her, but I did not yell at her. I did not say anything. This big well of anger hit my chest, but it just went right away. It didn't even fester. It didn't stay there. It didn't sit on my chest. So I think I'm well on my way of letting it move through me. It's
Hmm.
people have
Well,
been praying for me, so I really am grateful because let me tell you something. It was driving me crazy. It really was.
spare
Um,
prayer for spare prayer for Martin.
I will. I
They're not
will. Let me
sure
write him
if,
down right now.
yeah,
Has he
they're
tried
not
to harm
sure if,
himself?
oh yeah,
Oh, honey, I
they're
did
not
not
sure.
know.
They're not sure if it's bipolar. They're not sure if it's a dual personality. They're not 100% sure. But what's happening is, when certain types of stress surfaces,
Hmm.
he, the adult, ceases to exist. And he, the spoiled child that throws fits and tosses things and breaks things and picks fights and yells and screams over top of you, suddenly exists. And it's literally like having two different people in my life. And
Oh,
he
honey,
was
I'm
showing
so
some signs.
sorry.
Yeah, he was showing some signs of it years ago, but it really hit when his parents died, and he has been struggling since. And I've got to figure out how to keep the company alive, knowing that he keeps winding up in the hospital for long periods of time. But
What all, you do a lot of stuff by hand, don't you? You hand make all your things and stuff. That's what's so tough. You can't like manufacture things in different areas. You have to do it there in home. That's the hard part.
well, and there are some skill sets he's just a hell of a lot better and can do things faster. And there's some
I
skill sets
know.
that I'm a hell of a lot better and I can do faster. That's why we're a perfect team. But
I
I think
know.
the hardest thing right now is people keep going on about how I'm a victim and my safety and stuff. And I'm like, listen, no, he doesn't scare me. What
No,
scares me is
you've
that
been with
child,
him for a long time. Yeah. Yeah,
34
I know.
years, 34
Yeah, I
years.
would definitely keep him in my thoughts and prayers and you as well. And
Thank you, Matthew. Kind of, he's not on necessarily suicide watch because they can't trace it. It's one half of him. And what we're trying to do is, even though it's going to be really expensive for us to do, and we're still not able to figure out how we're going to financially do this, but what we're trying to do is find him a small apartment. So he would still pitch in 50% here as a business partner and pay for like a little bachelor pad. And the idea is to try to get his adult brain, this
back
half that
into
does
forward.
function, yeah, give him his own space and get me to smarten up because I haven't had to do dishes or laundry or, all the basics like cleaning the tub. And I mean, there's plenty of excuses why I don't, and that's what they are. I have sensitivities to scent, so I should have products that are, unscented, et cetera, et cetera. But I find now, like when every time he winds up in the hospital or he's off somewhere, I it takes me an hour or two to talk myself into doing dishes. It takes me like I've got clean laundry downstairs. It's still in the dryer because I hate sorting socks. I both of us have immense weaknesses by being kind to each other. We've actually almost wound up handicapping each other. So the idea is to separate us, but not separate us. We still have a
Yeah.
business together. We're still friends, but to
I wish
get us
I
to
didn't
live
live so
separately.
far away. I would
Oh,
help
honey.
out in any way I could.
Maybe
You
some
know,
virtual
and
help. I don't know. Just
I mean, if you need to talk, listen. I will. I, if you got something to write on, I'll give you my email address.
Um,
Emailing me is the quickest way to get a hold of me if
here,
you need
I-
to
I'll get
talk.
I'll get you the email. Do you have well? How do you have Facebook?
Yeah, well, it's Queen Tina. All you have to do is type in facebook.com/Queen Tina. It's the same as my username on here. Just look me up on
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
It's facebook.com/Queen Tina. Get a hold of me there, add me, and if you need to talk, just message me.
Okay.
I'll be glad to listen anytime.
And
And I
right now,
mean
I'm
that.
just looking for friends who can not be so judgmental, and so
Girl, I
because
am the
I'm
least
losing,
judgmental person on the face of this earth.
I have been losing so many friends. It's
You're not
just,
gonna lose me, honey.
oh,
Because I know him. I mean, I don't know you guys that well, but what I do know is that a head injury, even though he didn't hit his head, you know, when you're
yeah,
dealing with anything to do with the brain, because I have incurable depression, you there's another whole side to that, that people don't understand. It's you cannot heal something that's incurable. God's the only one that can cure that. I firmly believe that God could cure me any day, but I've had it for so long that, oh, John, I do, honey. I'm just talking to her about this and I'm not answering my messages. I'm sorry. It's not that I'm ignoring you, honey. I love you. Um, it's that, when you suffer from something for so long and you take medication for it for so long, like I don't acknowledge my depression. I just kind
mm,
of skim over
um,
things,
um,
like I don't even,
yeah.
I
We'll
don't,
we'll hook up. Nice thing about Facebook is if we want to call each other, we just use Messenger and it's
that's
free.
right.
It's all
You can
Wi-Fi.
just
Matthew, to answer your question, the no, the idea is he has to be independent. He's capable. He just doesn't want to be, so to speak. It's 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 an unhealthy attachment to his mother, which isn't helping as well. But no, the idea is his own space. He's not handicapped. He's not, by this country's specifications, he's not in a point or in a space where he's unable to function. He's just unable to function under certain stresses. So the idea is while he's still in the medical system or in this case back into the medical system, um, I've got to do something that I don't like doing, and that's trusting other people with people I want to help. And I'm trying right now not to take it personally and feel like I failed, and that's
you've
really difficult
not.
for me.
You've
Yeah.
not. And
So
you're not a victim. This is
no, I'm
something
not.
neither of you could control. And you hear it from my lips right now. I'm not going to judge you or him. This is not something either of you could control. And if you need to talk to me, I don't care what time or day of night it is. If I'm awake, I'll be there.
Okay.
And we don't know each other that well, but I will tell you this: I'm not going to paint you with a paintbrush by anybody else's words, because you treat me with kindness and with love and respect, and I will treat you with that same kindness of love and respect.
Okay, what you got?
Because,
Okay,
well, listen, girl,
I gotta hit the
you
bed
know,
because I'm getting
it's
up for
okay.
5
I
a.m.
just want you to know that I love you, even though you may not know me that well. Just know that you're loved anyway.
Thank you.
You are deeply so. I love you bunches. I'm glad that you are here and that, he's getting his help, and I've got him on my prayer list. I will be praying. I'll pray without ceasing, as we say, and I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers so you can get rest, so you can rest up your body and your mind and your spirit. Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you came in and spent time with me tonight. This was nice.
Thank you. I kept
So,
debating with myself because I thought, I got to get to bed early because of when I have to get up for work tomorrow. And then the other half of me is like, no, I want to talk to her. I just want to talk to
I'm
her.
glad you did. It was really nice. So, thank you.
Thank you
We'll have
too.
to do it again sometime.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Have a good night, doll.
Later, honey. Bye.
Okay, good night. Bye. Aunt Christina is, and she's such a sweetheart. And on that note, I am going to go. I should have um, probably not kept her so long. I feel bad that I kept her so long. Um, but anyway, I love all of you. I love all of the people that have watched my um all of my haps this evening. I really appreciate all of you guys. If you guys want to participate sometime, just let me know. I'm not a hard person to, ask to participate. If I don't know you, that might be a little bit more difficult, but, I knew her and I know her husband, and, I really do think a lot of them. And, so that's why I let her come up on camera. So I just want to let y'all know I love you guys very much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. No matter where you are in this world, know that I love you, that the family loves you, and we all want nothing but the best from each and every one of you. If you have prayer requests, leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to send me private um, prayer requests, you can send them to my email address at Queen Tina. No, that's not right. Psych. That is wrong. I gotta edit that. It's xqueentinax@yahoo.com. I just edited that. And that is my email address. So if you guys want to holler at your girl and send prayer requests to me, then please do so. It's xqueentinax@yahoo.com. Please put your name in the title of the email address and put prayer requests or whatever your requests are, and then the information down below in the title of your email. I appreciate you guys so very much for this evening. I hope that we get to do this again really soon. I've missed being here with you guys. I know this was kind of all over the place, but I do plan on doing the Brian and Gabby story as soon as I can get my timeline finished and get all that information put together. So be on the lookout for that one. And as I told you guys earlier, the little girl that was missing from Australia was found yesterday. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord for that one. How amazing is that the little girl was found alive? It's just a miracle. It's a miracle. She was found alive, guys. Um, it's just wonderful that somebody actually had a tip. They called it in, and the little girl was found alive. So I think it can happen for the little girl that went missing in Tennessee. So maybe they can find that little girl alive as well. So let's, keep praying for her. Um, like I said, with this other case that involves the young girl, Summer Wells, let's keep our prayers, going and see if we can't find that little girl alive as well. And if the truth is that she's not alive, somebody have some compassion and forethought to come forward and let people know that the little girl's not alive if that too is the case. So I thank you all for this evening. I pray that you ask for guidance and you open up whoever's heart it is that done something to this poor baby, if there was something bad done to the little girl, and that the truth come out if that's what the case. We ask that all things be done in God's name and that his truth be revealed in all things. So thank you for everybody. I thank you for your prayers and the answered prayers. And I pray that all things be done in God's name and all prayers be answered in His time. So, Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for your very many blessings, Father. I pray that you watch over all the people that have watched this HAPS, Father. I pray that you watch over all those that are asking for loved ones to help find this little girl, Father. I pray that you watch over those that have lost loved ones, Father, that have lost loved ones to missing and missing in action, Father. Those that have lost loved ones to illness or sickness. Those that have lost loved ones to murder or to suicide, Father. I pray that you just help us, Father, as we search now, Father, for this little missing girl that's been missing for quite some time, Father. I pray that you'll just give us the strength and the ability, Father, to know it when their time is due, Father, that you just give us the information we need to know whether we're looking in the right places, Father. I pray that you just be with us as we go throughout our day, Father, as we search deep down in our thoughts and in our feelings, Father, as we search the world, Father, for any clues or answers, Father, that we might have that might give us a slightest doubt, Father, about where she could be, Father, about where she could have gone, Father. I pray that you just be with those, lead, guide, and protect us, Father, as we go throughout our days. Father, I pray that you be with all those that are lost or have lost loved ones, that you'll just help guide them, protect them, Father. Help show them where they're not living the right path, Father, that you might give them a way to be able to live right, Father, where they can come to know you better, Father, and that they can come to know you in the correct way, Father, so that when they die, they go to heaven, Father, to be with you. Father, I pray that you'll help us as we lead, guide, and protect each person in our lives so that they come to you, Father, and they go out to meet you, Father, their maker into heaven. Father, I pray that they'll come to you and they'll say, Father, I've done everything I can. Father, I pray that they'll ask you to lead and guide them, Father, on to heaven, Father, that they'll say, Father, if can I come into the heaven? And Father, you can say, yes, son, you can. You've done your job. You've done a good job, Father. You just let us in. Father, I pray that you'll be with those that are sick and afflicted, those that have and those that don't, Father. We pray that you'll just lead, guide, and protect those that have little and those that have a lot, Father. Just help us, Father, deal with those that have a lot and those that have a little, Father. I pray that you just help the least of those and those that have the most, Father. Be with all of those that have a little and those that have a lot, Father, because those that have the most, they say it's the hardest to get into heaven, but those that have the least have that biggest chance of getting into heaven, Father. I pray that you let those that have the most get into heaven, Father, because they have to live a life just as hard as we do, Father. I pray that you'll be with us, lead us, guide us, and protect us, Father, as we go throughout our day. We thank you for the blessings you've given us. In Jesus' holy, sweet, precious name, I pray, Father. Amen. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day, and I will see you guys soon. Mwah. Bye, guys. Oh, wait. Deshaun Kyle, 26, missing from Knoxville. Okay, I need to write that down. There's also Summer Wells. So that's the little girl that's missing. So you guys have a great night. I love y'all. I will see you guys soon. Know how much I love you. Mwah. Smile at somebody. Remember to keep that smile on your face. You never know if that smile may change somebody's entire day. And share the love I share with you with someone else. Right? Because you never know. That love that you share may save a life. Share that love, guys. Mwah. I love you guys. Bye bye.